Peace, Oakland. What's up, y'all? This is your boy, host of Gotham, Oakland, Seneca Scott, where you come to get the real news, unfiltered, no holds barred, along what's really going on in these Oakland streets. Okay, today's episode, we've been waiting for a while. We're finally going to get into it. Barbara Lee. We've been hitting her hard on her record. But if it's the first time you've heard about Barbara Lee and you're enamored with her congressional record, and you want to know what's really going on with our former congresswoman and wannabe mayor, you came in the right place. But first, I want to explain myself. A lot of you are going to be like, yo, you've been ragging on Lee hard and you don't say nothing about any other candidates and all of that. No other candidates has me on their website. So let me show you something. This is the Barbara Lee for Mayor website right here. Now, if you go to her media, nice pictures of Barbara over the years, doing whatever it is that she does. We're going to talk a lot about what she did. Lauren Taylor Comshe. Now go all the way down to the bottom. And look what you have here. Taylor is tied to homophobic activist Seneca Scott. Taylor has been criticized for appearing at events along right-wing activists and failed political candidate Seneca Scott. Really? Who has a history of making inflammatory and false statements in public. Scott accused Brandon Harami, a City of Oakland employee and out gay man, of being a pedophile without offering any evidence whatsoever. Come on, Brandon Harami obviously wrote this shit. And Barbara Lee let it slide on her website. So here's the thing. If you tell lies about me, I'll tell truths about you. So let's just get the record straight in case you're hearing this for the first time. No, I'm not right wing. I'm post partisan. I don't go left, right. I go up, down. Either you have integrity or you don't. I'll say it again. I'm not right wing. I'm post partisan. I don't go up, down. Either you have integrity or you don't. Barbara Lee, you do not have integrity. Second, I'm not homophobic. I don't like Brandon Harami. He's a piece of shit, but I'm not homophobic. I have lots of gay friends and lots of gay allies and colleagues. Many of them have come to my defense and have been completely ignored. It doesn't do your community good by trying to make an enemy out of someone who has no issue with the queer community just for political brownie points. I'll say this one more time. Again, the culprit are usually white gay men who are trying to victimize themselves into minority status. So I'll say it again. You do not do yourself any favors in the queer community by trying to demonize people who are your allies because you have political problems with them and your ads and recalling your mayors and stuff like that. And I'll say, for my defense, I found an Ocala festival, well-known queer festival. I've even been interviewed by the Crystal Dealers, if you know them in Oakland. If you don't, they're a small organization, with the central question being, how do you provide safe spaces for the trans community in your community garden? So my reputation was so stellar in this community that I was sought out for people to ask me how to be a proper ally. And now they want you to ignore that because they want you to hide and not listen to me as I'm in their butt over things like this. What I'm about to present to you today should tell you everything you need to know about why they don't want you to listen to me. So let's move on to our first topic. Just so you know, you tell lies about me, I tell the truth about you. Barbara Lee represents the worst of entitled boomer. Barbara Lee represents the worst of entitled boomer energy. What is up with the boomers? Seriously now. Why don't they just want to go retire? 79 years old. My mother is 70 years old. She spent her life as an educator. She is happily retired. Is she sharp? Sure, she's sharp. Is she ready to lead a U.S. city? I mean, if we had to make her, but she wouldn't want to. Something's going on here with these boomers in politics who think that they're fit to lead U.S. cities out of potential bankruptcy while knowing very little about what's going on. And it's pervasive across this particular group of people. So we're going to talk about the truth behind Barbara Lee's congressional record. So we got a long list of things. We're going to jump right in that we want to talk to today about Barbara Lee's congressional record and what she's actually really been up to. But I want to first start to say that she lied about defund the police. Barbara Lee is on the record saying she never supported the defund the police movement when she's actually helped fund it in a significant way. Also, Queen defund the police herself, Latifah Simon, who's been responsible for being the bag woman for millions of dollars earmarked to the Anti-Police Terror Project and other organizations, have all been vocal in support of Barbara Lee. She's obviously for defund the police. Why would she even lie about something that obvious? Remember, we went from abolish to defund to reimagine public safety to public safety is my number one priority. Please ignore the last 4 years of me telling you that criminals are the good guys and law-abiding citizens are the bad guys and that we need to coddle people who are destroying our city. All of a sudden, all of that stuff goes away when they realize their own political future is in jeopardy. This is how you know they're grifters. They're not even true believers. A true believer would stick to their guns right now and stay with the defund the police stuff, which obviously they're not because Barbara Lee herself has called for 850 officers, an increase of nearly 200. When everyone else called for that, Cat Brooks and the Anti-Police Terror Project lost their freaking minds and called for a fatwa and went and threw spray paint on the house. But when Barbara Lee calls for 850 officers, all of a sudden it's all good. I don't know. The hypocrisy is too much. So,
I've been around. I've been around the world. I've been around. I've been around the world.
I need to hear that again. That was my jam. I know Puppy locked up, but this is my joint.
I've been around the world. I've been around. I've been around the world.
Yo, Barbara Lee has been around the world. She is the number one recipient in the U.S. Congress in foreign travel. Number one. Let that sink in. She's also the 218th ranked congressperson in actually requesting community funds, but she's number one in travel. We're going to get to the funds in a minute, but don't they look alike? Look at that. Karen Bass going to Ghana, where she was at when LA caught fire and Malibu burned down. And here is Barbara Lee.
I've been around the world. I've been.
I mean, they look exactly alike. They even have the same outfit on. How can you be fooled by these people any longer? Voters, I mean, it pains me that I even have to make these videos and that people are this out of touch with what's going on. But we're gonna jump into it. So, we like to present the facts on Gotham, Oakland. So let's talk about her record with travel. In September 2024, an investigation from Boston University and Howard Center for Investigative Journalism at the University of Maryland into privately sponsored travel by members of the United House of Representatives found that Lee had taken 45 such trips since 2012, the most of any member. Her travel included trips to Beijing, Berlin, Istanbul, Israel, 2 locations in Africa. Lee brought family members, including her grandson, spouse, 2 sons, and 2 daughter-in-laws on trips, and her family flew business class and stayed in 5-star accommodation. On a trip to Germany in February 2020, Lee and her husband, Reverend Dr. Clyde Oden Jr., where's the old Clyde Jr.? I ain't seen him around not a single time. I heard he lives in LA, but that's another story. Travel on a private car to Germany to a historic resort in the Alps, Schloss Elmanu or whatever. Probably saying that wrong, but you get the point. Fancy stuff. Lee attended a 5-day forum in the U.S.-German relations while Oden enjoyed the amenities of the luxury resort. The cost for Oden's trip alone exceeded $12,000. In June 2006, he's had a long record of this. Lee was identified as the top recipient, once again, of privately funded travel amongst the Bay Area congressional offices. A report compiled by the Center of Public Integrity, Northwestern University's Medford News Service, and the American Public Media evaluated travel from January 2000 to the mid-2005. Over that period, Lee took $248,000 in trips, including an $11,000 trip to Cape Town, South Africa, paid for by the Chicago Council on Foreign Relations and the South African Institute on International Affairs. And she also took a $9,600 trip to India, blah, blah, blah. So I want to speak on that for a second. You're the number one ranked person traveling. When it comes to actually bringing money to your district, look at my notes, you're ranked 218th out of 435. How do we know that? We look into a little website here. The community funding, project funding, where everyone is required, and they have a consolidated table you can download. Oops, I didn't mean to download it again, but you can download it. And I'm just showing you that so you know where to go. We've already did the research for you. Again, if you doubt our research, feel free to go to the source yourself, and I'll present some of those findings. This is kind of hard to see, so I'll go a little closer. Take a look here at these organizations. This is what they brag about on Barbara Lee's website. All the money that she brought to Chinatown and to the Middle Harbor Enhancement Area Project, which indeed she requested $8 million. So what did she request the second most for? The Octa Grant Youth Power Zone and Q-Lab Design Center. And that is from an organization called Courage. Here you go, is a larger one. The larger Communities United for Restorative Youth and Justice. Now, I don't doubt that Courage has done some great work and have stuck to the mission, but I do also have some issues with this. This is Courage's Twitter from June 15th, 2020. Here you see that Courage is with the Anti-Police Terror Project to defund the police by 50%. So Barbara Lee, who claims she never had anything to do with defund the police, is trying to give $6 million to Courage, which, as you clearly see, was trying to defund the police by 50%. Cut the contract with California Highway Patrol and defund the OPD and reinvest in community. Remember, this is 2020 when that sort of jargon was popular. So not only does she rank the bottom half of Congress in bringing back money to her district, with 200 plus congressional people ranking in front of her, the money that she did bring went to defund the police. Let that think in for a second. All right, what's next? Barbara Lee's rental housing grift. Now, this is a fun one. I'm not going to hog all the credit, so I'm going to share my screen once again. You know, we are the media on X. We are the media. So where do you find this? Not on Soggy Side, not on ABC, KTVU, KQED, on X. An account, Laura Power, tweeted or posted about a week ago, 10 days or so, on March 15th. This post got 376,000 likes, has not garnered a single news story yet. By the way, this is a crime. I'm not sure if you know this, but if you don't report, when you're running for office, you're required to report all of your assets so people can vet you properly. And Barbara Lee purchased a home in the Oakland Hills for $1.48 million in 2010. Its current assessed value is proposed at $1.86, and its estimated market value is over $2 million. On a disclosure form that she filed in January, she claimed that the house fair market value was less than $1 million. Here is said form. You clearly see, she said that her house is worth between $100 and $1 million fair market value. This is off by half. Also, she didn't mention that she was renting it out. Oakland's rent registry ordinance requires owners of residential rental units to annually register their rent and tenancy information with the city. Her rental does not appear anywhere in the rental registries as of December 2023, May 2024, and August 2024. We are waiting on records to see if she ever entered the rental. Again, here are the receipts. You know we come with receipts on Gotham, Oakland. Here is the receipt showing her property value. And here's a property description. If you look further, this property has been rented for a couple of years now. We have the Zillow postings and all of that. I posted them to my own ex. So what are we looking at here? Huh?
Is it a scam?
It's a scam. More progressive grifting. Rules for thee, not for me. Had this been Lauren Taylor, I'm 1,000% sure. Oakland Side, FS Fist, or whatever the heck they're called, every soggy blog and journal that get dog walked by the progressive regime and controlled by the cabal will be reporting on Lauren Taylor and his alleged criminalities of underreporting his property. But when it's Barbara Lee, you see nothing. What's going on here? All right, next. Money buys everything. Remember that? Shout out to Andy Duong, one of Barbara Lee's strongest supporters. Let's dissect Lee's corporate backers. I would love to. All right. We got another screen to share with you here. All right. Now, since 1998, Barbara Lee had accepted $67,950 from the Duong family. She recently returned $5,000 of that. Rob Bonta returned 100% of his donations from the Duong family. Barbara Lee returned maybe, I don't know, 3-point-something%, if my math holds. The Duong family is connected to Sheng Tao, who 2 members of that family, father and son, are also facing 95 years, similar to Sheng and her boyfriend, Andre Jones, for corruption. And Barbara Lee gets money from them. And the progressive look the other way. I don't know. Rules for thee, not for me. Oh, let me give that back on the stage. But I'm also interested in the special interest money. Did you know that in addition to her contributions from the Duong family, Barbara Lee had accepted several contributions from other special interests, including corporate PACs, trade associations, and lobbying firms, most of them who are owned by billionaires, which could be used to demonstrate that Lee is more beholden to special interests than her constituents. Since 2003, Lee has accepted a total of $1.1 million in contributions to her Senate and congressional campaign committees for entities that we have identified as corporate PACs, trade associations, and lobbying firms. These contributions include Blue Shield, Healthcare, Big Pharma, ExxonMobil, lobbyists, defense contractors, Raytheon, the Parsons Corporation, student loans, Trump supporters. I'm sorry, I'm at loss for words how the social justice hero, Barbara Lee, is getting all of these donations. I mean, jumped the gun a little bit here, but let's look at a few. She's accepted $115,000 from pharmaceutical companies, including Gilead, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, we said Gilead twice, Bayer, and Eli Lilly. And here are these contributions. Now, these may not seem like a lot, but the point is she's taking the money from corporations while claiming to be a champion of the people. And the type of corporations she's taking money for, in the right room, she'll easily say that these are her enemies, yet she takes money from them. Next, you have a $46,000 from defense contractors. Come on now. Thought you were anti-war, Barbara. Why are you taking money from Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and Boeing? We know they make bombs and they blow people up. Like, we know that. But I guess money buys everything, including Barbara Lee. You know, I want to watch this video.
Oakland is in a fight for its life. 87,000 of us who recalled Sheng Tao don't need Barbara Lee coming in with the same failed policies. Barbara Lee does not speak for me.
She took more dirty money from the Duong family than Sheng Tao. Barbara Lee does not speak for me.
Barbara Lee wants to give our taxpayers money as universal basic income to the homeless for doing nothing. So no, Barbara Lee doesn't speak for me.
Barbara Lee called us undemocratic for recalling the crooked DA Penn Price. Barbara Lee doesn't speak for me.
This is the most important election in Oakland City history. We're about to go bankrupt. Barbara Lee has no city government experience. She does not speak for me.
She don't speak for me either. And hopefully she doesn't speak for you either. And if she does speak for you after watching this video, I hope you never claim to be a friend of the poor and care about the working class. So I'm going to wrap this up with my final thoughts on the election. And I'll even tell you who I'll be voting for since everyone's asking me. This is the first election where I will not be using ranked choice voting selection, and I will be bullet voting for one person and one person only, and that's Lauren Taylor. I think he's the obvious choice. I'm not the biggest fan of Lawrence Taylor. Anybody who's been following my platform knows that. But at minimum, he possesses the knowledge, skills, and ability to perform the basic functions of being the mayor of Oakland. I'll say it again. At minimum, he possesses the knowledge, skills, and ability of performing the basic functions of being the mayor of Oakland, including a basic understanding, at minimum, I'm not saying he's basic, he's actually a little bit higher level when it comes to finance, but understanding municipal finance, Oakland's finance, and what it would take to get us out of bankruptcy. Barbara Lee is beholden to the exact same special interest. California Nurses Association engages her $250,000. Most of her money comes from either public sector labor unions or people who public sector labor unions direct to give her money, like nonprofits who are all feeding from the taxpayers' tip. They're milking us like cows for pension, for salaries. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is modernizing and streamlining. We can't even get half of these workers to come back to City Hall and work and give us the fair share. I want to know how many workers who are union members right now are double dipping illegally and taking second jobs, which is why they don't want to come back. Now, when it comes to public works and our blue collar workers, we know they're not taking second jobs. We see them every single day in the street doing what we pay them to do, what our taxpayer dollars pay them to do. When it comes to city council, who routinely doesn't have quorum for public safety meetings and doesn't want to come to work, or public sector unions who are saying that their workers have childcare issues or they can't afford the gas or whatever the heck, what's going on? I mean, they don't live in Oakland? Because Oakland ain't that big and ain't that much gas. I fill up once a month or so. So, I mean, come on. It should be obvious. Barbara Lee is not prepared for this job. She will rule by proxy. And the people who she's going to give that power to are the exact same people who put Sheng Tao in office and ran her. Please don't let the same criminal cabal of phony progressives keep their control and power over this city. And for those of you who are enamored with Barbara Lee's legacy, let's debate about it. She brought less than average money to her congressional district, at the same time traveling the world and receiving the most on corporate privately funded travel. She funded and supported the Defund the Police movement, which has helped to destroy Oakland. She has walked lockstep with all of the failed progressive policies that we are rejecting. Make the recalls count. Do not vote for Barbara Lee. Vote for Lawrence Taylor for Oakland mayor. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.